Okay, before I go any further with this one, there's just one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to move the camera and show you something, because it's getting exciting now for a lot of reasons, and I've been missing the point with some of this, and I'll explain that in a bit. So what I want to do is this cell here, the voltage is there, it's 0.89 at the moment, and I just want to put it through a little bit of a charge cycle, and then I'll put the camera back and then talk about what else is going on. It's quite exciting for me anyway. There's one or two things going on, and yeah, it is getting exciting. So I'll do that first, and we do that charge cycle. So what we've got is that cell there, which is about 1.5 centimetres or something like that. That's the voltage. There's the charge voltage, and there's my charge button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the charge button, and you can see the charge voltage there, and you can see the charge voltage and the current on the left. So that's accepting a charge. I'll just leave that till it goes to 30 milliamps, I think. Yeah, okay, so there's 30 milliamps. Now, what I'm going to do, if we can get that out of the glare, is release that button now, and there is the battery voltage. I just wanted to show you that because while I'm talking about other stuff, we'll come back to that. Now, a couple of things about this. My binders for my anode and my cathode, two different binders, are working absolutely superbly. That, which is a 1 centimetre affair, that's my Diatoms with graphene. That's where I started, and that will not budge. It works quite well, and you can't budge it. One of the points I've been missing though, with all of this, and this was another one I tested earlier on, there is my active material. So there we go, my diatoms, as graphinated diatoms as I like to call them, and that there, it won't budge. It's there, it's solid, it's not going anywhere. I've tested these things probably 50 times now, and that there is actually too much binder in there. I don't need as much binder as I'm putting in, but they work, and they work well. But one of the key points I'm missing, I'm trying to get extend the capacity of these batteries and try and do more with them. But one of the things I'm not thinking about is I'm only using activated carbon. That's all I've been using, and generally it's been the run-of-the-mill activated carbon that you'd use in the fish tank for filtering stuff and all the rest of it. You buy from the local aquatic shop or garden centres or wherever. That's the activated carbon I've always been using, and grind it up fine, which is great. I love this stuff. It's brilliant. It does a job until I was ready to move on to test and trial graphene and stuff like that, and graphene oxide, which I hadn't got round to doing until now. It's drying out at the moment, but I've got some go on the go. So going to be a few days in the drying period. But activated carbon, that's all I'm using to produce the results I've produced. And I have, in fact, I can't find the video because I'd had a couple of jars when I downloaded the video from my camera, my phone, to my PC, and I can't find the video, but I got almost an hour from one of these. I'm running the motor. So, yeah, activated carbon, except now it's not any old activated carbon. Well, it's not this activated carbon that's made from coconut shells, I think. Good stuff, but that's what I'm using now, and I've made it myself. It's activated carbon made from sugar, and the way I produced the carbon was the old sulfuric acid one in the glass, where it just goes out of the glass, and then I activated it. I'm not going to go into how I did all that right this minute, but that's what I've done, and that's what's in these. Now, while I've been talking, I don't know, 5 minutes, whatever, that voltage isn't going anywhere at all. That is stable voltage. Now, I've run through a couple of facts. I mean, the binder, I don't need as much binder as I'm putting in. Nowhere near. Neither on the active material or this. But they are two different binders, as I say. Now, if this was a battery, it's static, it's in situ, and it's compressed into a battery casing, and you just do not need as much binder as I'm putting on these at all. You know, that is just not going anywhere. In fact, I trimmed the edge of this earlier on. It was a bit jaggedy, and I had to get a blade and scrape that to cut the edge, so you know it's on there, it's not going anywhere. But that's that, and this is my carbon. Now this is a really, really fine powder. That is going in a capacitor. That's where that's going. That is so fine, it's unbelievable. It really is a nice, fine powdered carbon. And what I did to get that was, in the washing and the filtering stage, this stuff went through the filter, and I kept it, and I washed it again, and I've ended up with that. I've got some more, but you know, that's just a little bit that I've dried out. That's absolutely beautiful. That stuff there, that is a lovely, lovely fine powder. As I say, that's going in a capacitor, not right this minute, but the weekend or something like that. Now, the other exciting thing is, I've just turned off my sonicators, but I'll get this out of the sonicator. It hasn't been going for that long, but I have found my own novel little way of producing graphene from expanded graphite. All those bits there are expanded graphite. I don't know whether you can see this on camera, but I hope you can in this light. There's there's the graphene. That's the stuff that hasn't gone yet, and there's my graphene. Beautiful graphene, hopefully, but that is my own novel little way of producing it with experimentation. So I mean, yeah, that is water there. So, and if I were to open the lid and smell it, yes, it smells of pears. So pop that back in the sonicator. Yeah, so diatoms, I was ready to give up on these at one point because I wasn't getting what I wanted. Why was that? Well, I made up from that. I made these, which is diatoms, my graphinated diatoms, and they're quite grey. That's white. They're white, and that's quite grey, look, because it's got graphene in it. And they were on the stirrer for about 8, 10, maybe even 12 hours, I don't know. But these things, there's no uniformity with these. Diatoms, you buy, this is Diatomaceous earth, and I bought it on eBay. And diatoms, which are in there, are it's the fossilized remains of diatoms in there, which is a hard-shelled algae, essentially. But if you look at diatoms, they're all different shapes, sizes, and all the rest of it. So there's no uniformity there as such. But the thing is, the main thing is with these diatoms, look them up on Wikipedia. As I say, it's a hard-shelled algae. The cell walls are made up of silica or silic acid. It's very tough but very porous, and the structure of these cell walls are known as frustules. And when the diatoms die, what happens is the organic matter within the diatom itself decomposes, and what's left is this structure which sinks to the bottom of its aquatic environment, you know, where it was living in the sea or in a lake or whatever aquatic environment it was in. So that's what happens, and of course we then come along, man, and mine this stuff and sell it on eBay and places like that, and obviously oven dried, and I think it's about 80 to 90% silica that these things are made up of, or this is made from, or what's in there, and there's about 2% iron oxide, oh, and some alumina, 4% alumina or something like that. Just look them up on Wikipedia. But as I say, I was ready to give up, but I'm not now. And the reason for that is this and this. Now that's on my stirrer at the moment. The stir bar is in there, and that is that and those. So originally I made this, I prepared these diatoms with graphene, which is there, but now I've prepared some with graphene oxide with Go, and it's in there, one there and one there. That one is different to that one. I've made a slight change with that one. This one is just pure, well, that solution that you see there with Go, obviously dried, and I had fantastic results. But I was reading another paper yesterday, or last night, or early hours of this morning I should say, and this paper talked about something else which is in there. I'm not going to say what it is right this minute. That's the first one. I haven't, you know, that's been there for an hour, you know, a couple of charge cycles and all the rest of it. Tried it. Yes, it ran the motor, not a problem, and it will run the motor now. And the voltage has dropped to 0.8 volts. Don't know if you can see that where it is. 0.8 volts. Now that's with the motor running. Now I'm going to stop the motor. One of the other key points about this lot, with these materials, was bounce back on the cell. That's 0.87. But I know that if I run that motor until it stops, I know that if I leave it for 5 minutes, I can turn that motor back on because of the bounce back on that cell. So all of a sudden, it's a new world. I know I don't need anywhere near as much binder as I'm putting in, so that will just make a difference of, I don't know, maybe 20%, but I'm going to try it. So that's that. This, if I run that now, we're on 0.79 at the moment. I'm not going to put a timer on it. I don't care about the times at the moment. It's the materials and the makeup of the cells now, and this makeup, which is now Diatoms in Go. There it is. And I can't wait to finish this video and get that stirrer back on. So, you know, we're on 0.79. This, by the way, is copper and aluminium. There's the copper, the cathode, and the anode is aluminium. So that's that. I've tried deep detective solvents as well last week, but I've given up on those for the minute. I seem to have you would have seen that in a previous video. It was sat there. It was a lovely aqua greeny blue colour, obviously with copper in it, and it was a lovely liquid as such. It's not now. I broke the bonds, but they seem to have joined themselves back up. So I've left the deep detective solvents. I'll go back to those next week. At the moment, I'm still using my original my original electrolyte, so which is the one I've shown many times, the really active one. So that's that. I'm just going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with aluminium for the moment, and the copper, and that electrolyte, and do all of these tests on the various materials, get the binder to the correct stage. I mean, it works, you can see it working there, but I don't think I need as much binder. I'm 100% certain about that. and I'm certain that I would get another 20% efficiency out of this with less binder. I'm convinced of that. So we're on 0.76 there now, and that will go on for a while. It's not high voltage on that particular cell that we started with. I'm not bothered about that. We can up the volts at any time. We can change materials and do whatever. Change the electrolytes. There's a lot of things we can do, but I'm still in this this construction phase at the moment. I mean, I'm still using this stuff for a separator, although I don't need to. That's my latest binder for the anode. I've got 3 binders now, and I'm sort of torn between 2 of them. One's a definite, which is that one, and the cathode binder. I've got 2. Okay, 0.72 there, 0.71. Yeah, it's getting exciting. I mean, that graphene, that's exciting. This graphene oxide, which is my 3rd attempt, there's going to be a 4th and a 5th attempt, because obviously I've been re-looking at the Robert Murray Smith videos. The first one I produced with the potassium permanganate and the sulfuric acid, and that was the original one. The second one, I think the second or the 3rd one, needs this stuff, sodium nitrate, and the sulfuric and everything else. And we've got some, what else have we got? Oh, phosphoric acid for one of the attempts. So I'll be doing those over the weekend. It's Thursday now, Friday tomorrow. Tomorrow evening I'll get everything cleaned off and prepared and do that. After seeing this video, or before this video, you would have seen that little baby. I've got another one of these, a bigger one, a 3-inch. This is a 2.5 inch. So I'm going to have this done again, get my mate to do that again, and that's that. Yeah, it's exciting, and I've ordered some. What's it called? Vermiculite or something? No, I don't know. This board that they line the kilns with, you know, to make my own sort of little thermal jacket for that. So that's that. We're on 0.62 volts there now, going strong. But if I were to stop that now, that has bounced right back up to 0.76, 0.77, and it will just keep going up. 0.78. So the initial voltage from the I'll charge that again now. We're on 130, 120, 110 milliamps, 100 milliamps, 90 milliamps, 70, 60. It's charging as it should charge. It's that last bit of charge. I won't do that now, because that would probably take, I don't know, 2 minutes, something like 3 minutes, I don't know. 50 milliamps, I'll leave it at that. 0.91. Now I know that's going to drop to 0.9, which it has, and I know it's going to stay at 0.9 for quite a while. Very, very stable voltage. So that's one of the other things that I've managed to achieve with what I'm doing. I've got the materials I want, I've got the binders I want. Oh, I was going to mention the separator material. I've mentioned this in another video. I have, not here, but I will do that tomorrow. I've used the the Robert Murray Smith cigarette butts, acetone and brake fluid. It's ethylene glycol. I never remember what it's called. Ethylene glycol, I think, or something ethylene glycol. But brilliant stuff. But I use that as a binder as well. With my active material, which is my sugar carbon. With that, and that works fantastic. It's phenomenal. Again, you get a better percentage, better performance, because it's not a strong binder, you know. So yeah, I've used that as a binder. And what I had to do was I put my activated carbon in that on the copper, and what I found was that it was no longer, because of penetration on the surface with the carbon, it was no longer a separator material as such. It allowed the electrolyte in, obviously, so you've got your electrons flowing and all the rest of it. So what I did was, and I'll show this, I did make a video on it. Again, I can't find that one either. Very, very thin layer, really thin layer. Oh, I turned that off, didn't I? Well, 0.89 volts. So the bounce back on this with this setup is phenomenal, and it can only get better with these binders and whatever. Yeah, this stuff. What I did was, I put the activated carbon in that as a binder, and I got the bond. Not a phenomenal bond, but it was there. And then I dipped it again. Once that layer had dried and I washed it off to expose the activated carbon, I dipped it again, very quick dip, let that dry and wash that again. So now you've got a separator as well. So that worked great. But again, I'll have to redo a video if I can't find the other one. But yeah, exciting times. I'm really excited about a lot of stuff. So 0.89, you know, under load 0.83. So I don't know what else I can say about this lot really, apart from, you know, as I say, Diatoms graphene oxide. That's going back on the stirrer any time now. Just in case we did not get this on camera, what I'll do, I was hoping that you can actually see that graphene. There it is in this light. I don't know. It's in there somewhere, and I'm hoping you can see the colours. There it is, though. Graphene. Lovely stuff. There. My own novel little way of getting my graphene. Yeah. So anyway, right, 0.81, 0.8. What I'll do, I think, I'll let that run flat. See what the bounce back is. Just as it's going flat, I'll put the camera on it, and then we'll see what the bounce back is. Because I'd like to get that shown as well. Because you do get really strong, fast bounce back on this, and it's usable power as well. So something in my mouth, could be anything. I've been messing with hydrochloric acid. Oh, that was the other thing that's on the go over there, chitin. Haven't got anywhere near chitin yet. These diatoms seem to be the business at the moment, and obviously they are my chitin as such. Very similar structures and very similar way that these frustules are made. Yeah, very similar structure to the cellular structure of plants, the walls of plants, stuff like that. I wish I could remember everything I've read, but I can't. I have to make notes. Getting old. So yeah, I'm going to let that run down flat. Put it on video. Put the bounce back on video, and charge it up again and go again. And put the timer on it and see what we get. It doesn't matter how long it runs for at this stage, because I know how to enhance this setup now. So that's that for now, really. Can't think of anything else. No. Let's put the lid on that chitin acid. Okay, speak to you soon. I mean, that's down to 0.5 volt at the moment. It's been a few minutes. That is the cell in question, and I've been messing around with that now for a few hours, and I have not put any fresh electrolyte on it at all, so it's doing quite well. No, can't quite see the voltage there, but there we can. Yeah, I mean, that's the active material. It's not a very thick layer. I'd say that's about 0.5 mil on there. It's quite a lot. This one with the diatoms, that is a very, very thin layer. I've got no idea what the weight of that is. Absolutely no idea at all. I have got my new scales now, so come the weekend I'm going to do all of this again fresh. Less binder, less proportion of binder to carrier, and do it all again. Obviously with some of this dried, go with diatoms. Stirrers in there, stir a bar. So yeah, I'll be stirring that for about well, I'll just leave it for about 6 or 8 hours, something like that, maybe even 12, I don't know. Just let it go. So we're down to 0.38 volts there now. Yeah, doesn't really like that. What I've been doing with these cells, I've been running 2 motors as well, as opposed to just one. So that's another thing I'm about to show. In some instances of that one there, because that's I've got, what have I got? I've got a 1 centimetre version there. I've got a 1.5 centimetre version. Oh yeah, that's the one I'm running now. And I've got a 2 square centimetre version there, and that one I ran 3 motors on that. Again, I don't know if I did the video, but or if I did, where it is. Getting really confused just lately. So that is slowing down now. 0.28, look. Might as well just let it run now.
I was a bit concerned about the lighting where the camera was before, but I don't know if we can actually get a better... There's the graphene, hopefully. And there's the rest of, floating on the top there, the rest of the what's it called? Expanded graphite, of course. So we've got several layers going on. We've got one at the top, one there, another one there, and your water. So yeah, quite pretty. Okay, so that's just stopped. And what I'm going to do, while the camera's still running, we're on 0.09 there, is let that go. And we get some good bounce back. I'll just leave that for a minute. Okay, so we're back up to 0.7 there now. And I do know for a fact that left for about, I don't know, 5 minutes, that would go back up to its, almost to its original voltage. How usable is it now? Well, usable obviously. Well, it drops fairly quickly, but it, you know, the motor's spinning, so it's been what, a minute? One of the key factors that I was looking for with this was A, the performance of the materials with the binders, and B, well, there's three things actually, three key factors. A stable voltage initially after charging, and obviously what I've just said about the binders, but also this bounce back. You know, how usable is it? So yeah, there we go. Now I shouldn't be doing that straight away, but back on again, because I wanted to show that this bounce back voltage is now up to 0.89, and we started at 0.9 volts, so it should go back to 0.9. How usable that is at the moment, I don't know, but well, there it is. Now there's been no charging at all, it's just purely bounce back voltage, and that's the energy. And well, I was just looking through this video, and it's been about 10 minutes, so I'm really pleased with that. You know, that has just recovered. And that's good energy. That is good. we're on, you know, 0.82 volts now. So after 10 minutes, I don't think I can grumble at that. And it's not dropping slowly either. If I put that on another scale, you can see the usage there. I think that's phenomenal. So, onwards and upwards with graphene oxide then, I think. And of course my other little tweak in there, which I will show. Yeah. Sorry I got interrupted there, I just paused the video for 20 seconds or so. There was one thing that I was going to show. Which was this stuff. Where I got it from. I've tried many sugars. But that one is working really well. Now that's dropping quite quickly now. So that's what I would expect, I suppose. I'm glad I got to show this bit because it's quite important. While we're waiting for that to dissipate, I'm going to try and find this sugar. Because this is probably quite significant with what I was saying about that stuff, which is your average run-of-the-mill activated carbon. And the sugar, it's a brown sugar, but look at that. Coconut sugar. That I just found by accident. You just don't see it in shops as such, and I did find it by accident. But that there is that there, my sugar carbon, activated carbon. Now, as I say, the process in producing that was the 98% sulfuric acid and the dehydration and all the rest of it, where you put a little bit in a glass and it just comes out the top like a volcano. So we're about to stop there now. That's run on for a few minutes, that has. I'm really pleased with that. So look at the bounce back again. I've just turned the motor off and look at that, 0.68. yeah, it's getting quite exciting now. I feel as though I'm getting somewhere. I must admit, last week my thoughts were different. As I say, I was almost ready to give up on this stuff for several reasons, but it's obviously you know, it's giving me the surface area that I need, similar to chitin or anything really, hemp, just about anything else you could think of in that nature. So yeah, I was ready to give up, but I'm not going to give up now. I'm going to be testing chitin, and that's you know, settling out quite nicely there. So hopefully I'll leave that for a couple of days, and we'll see where we go with it. But that's that, look. Yeah. Okay. Turn that back to its original scale. Yeah, it's getting quite long again, so I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll come back over the weekend when I've got some more bits and pieces, some anodes and cathodes made up, and go again. And I'm certain that I'm going to get far better results than I'm getting now with this binder situation. So that's all I can say at the moment. I'm quite pleased. Over and out.